we're moving to the next panel. Before that, I have to say that this afternoon the Rain Film Festival continues. We have a second fest section here. We'll be having three directors, three artists talking about their pieces, their projects, and their creative processes, and then we'll be having the award ceremony and the live section with three performances and a live expanded documentary. So just stay here all the day with us. So we're moving to the next workflow panel that I'll be conducting. So please, Brech, Zirui, and Amailla, join me to the stage. Yeah, you can go. Yeah. So I don't introduce myself because I hate presentations, but I'm the coordinator of this festival. I'm also a researcher on AI creative processes and AI literacy. So I'm really, really interested in how humans relate to these technologies. So we'll be having the filmmakers, as I mentioned. We'll have Amailla, that I don't see her. Okay, sure. Amailla is on the toilet. We have Chen Zirui which directed Format Error Occur at the Offset. We enjoyed very much your film yesterday, and we also have Brech Vanhoutte with his film Ethereal Rhymes, Everything Rhymes. So yeah, we'll be having this panel. I move on to the chair. Yeah, so we're waiting for Amailla. Amailla, who is eventually coming, she directed No Home Movies, which was an interesting proposal too from yesterday's session. So maybe we could have leveraged this time for a question, but no worries. We'll see how this works. Okay, so yeah, we'll be waiting for Amailla. Thank you for coming. So join us here. As I said, Amailla directed No Home Movies. So this panel is intended to talk about a little bit more about the creative processes. We've discussing. Take a water if you want, Amailla. Don't worry. We've been discussing all the morning the complex, the relationships we establish humans with this kind of technologies, and also the need to embrace this as a complex thing rather than a simple approach. So yeah, this panel will be. Well, guys, on the cabin we cannot move on, so I'm having only 2 slides. We are supposed to have more slides. We can check it if you want. But yeah, I will move on when we are currently freezed. But this panel, this discussion with these 3 filmmakers will be structured in 3 stages. I wanted to divide this discussion in 3 stages about the pre-production, the production, and the post-production. And I want to do like that in order to discuss. Let's see. Yep. So this is just a quick summarize of what we're talking about this morning. We've seen how integrating Gen AI in filmmaking is a constant negotiation process between what the machine allows me to do and what I want to do, and this is also interesting because pushes us to understand or to challenge notions of creative processes, and I would say that it's interesting to use classical terms to understand this new process. So we'll be using these 3 stages as a guide through this panel. This pre-production, production, and post-production. Why? To see how we can keep sitting or putting the human value at the center, and also if these stages are still relevant when asking about what is AI filmmaking. So we'll start with the pre-production. We'll be seeing 2 pieces of the movies, and then we'll talk. So. So we'll see the next one.
在某种意义上，没有东西是不可逆的，但在另一个意义上，任何东西都是不可逆的。出生证明公证、护照、外国人临时居留、学历证明及其翻译、疫苗接种证明，它们是人的隐私，而人只是他们流转的中介。这份出生证明从中文翻译成法语，一共99个单词，在公证处翻译需要等上3周，加上行政服务费785元，是当年本地最低生活保障的1.57倍。平均每天可以翻译4.71个法语单词，每个单词价值7.93人民币，包括名词和介词。
Yeah, so I chose these 2 pieces because when talking about this pre-production, all the thing we do before interacting with these tools, with these models, I think it's really interesting how, because we ask the filmmakers to tell us about what they've done, how they've done in order to submit the film. And I think it's really interesting that the 3 of us, the 3 of you, you state that there's some kind of relation between your personal experience, your personal life, and the things you are showing us. So the first question, how much of yourselves go into this work, and how you, in some ways, translate this kind of experience, this kind of personal motives into something you can feed or prompt into a model, how you prepare all of these things before interacting with these models. We can go with Brech and then go there. Okay.
Yeah, so for this project, it's very personal. It was a very personal process. It comes from my experience as a patient during a medical diagnosis for my mental health. And I had to keep a diary for this doctor about my daydreams and my visions and my delusions, so I kept notes and I kept images and I kept videos, and it was during my master year, so I had to do a master project, and then I tried to combine the 2 because it was already a chaos, and then it was. I tried to use the original notes and the original images, but it didn't show the feeling that I had, or it didn't really show my daydreams, and it wasn't rhyming with what I wanted to envision or to share. And then, because my father is a creative coder, I was thinking about coding stuff. And then I was playing with Midjourney, and then I liked Midjourney, and I tried to understand what the tool of AI was and what's the process in it. And then I played with AI, and I asked AI, what are you reading in my diary notes, and what are you seeing in the images that I made? Are you seeing the same things? And then with all these descriptions that I got from the AI, I made prompts, and the prompts were made with an AI language and given to another AI. So I quickly got these images, these moving images. My movie was the first clip that you've seen. So yeah, it was a very personal experience. It's a diary movie. It's one day in my life through my closed eyes or something. Every time I close my eyes, I see these images. It's part of my personality disorder. So yeah, but it was a very fun experience, and it was very fun to also work with my doctor on these images and to share it with him. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's also interesting, and we'll talk about in the production stage how you, some ways, translate your thoughts, your experiences into something one AI got prepared to another AI. This is kind of process. I think it's really interesting. So Chen, tell us about, because in your film format error, there's also a lot of identity involved. Tell us how you prepare or organize this topic into something you could also generate with AI partially.
Actually, the topic of identity is also, even before I use AI, I focus on this topic, and also the first part that I present kind of paradox in the bureaucracy system. And since I had never been a foreigner before I went to Europe, so that's become very clear at that time. Like, so I try to present this, and but actually for this film, it's also kind of review of my own identity, or because it starts from the after the Ukraine war that I saw like on YouTube that and the Twitter, like people overthrew the Statue of Lenin. That might connect to some of my historical identity, and that's at that time I think I should do something about that. But till 2 years later, I made it, and then at that time it's not about AI, or at that time I'm not sure if it's about AI or not. Till then, and during the test of my while I try using AI stuff, and I find that quite be connected, and that with like the flexible image, this kind of feeling and the way of AI to generate image that can connect to my concept. So that's connected very naturally. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, I have a statement here about Zirui when you ask to explain a little bit more about their creative process, which he says is involves intertwining your life with also research topics. I think it's kind of a topic here. We're constantly seeing how we can gather things about the real life and then introduce into a digital or a AI generated world. And I think also Amailla's movie, there's a clear relation between real world and generated images. There's a process of mixing this kind of images, and how you plan this before interacting with these models.
I didn't plan it because it was constrained by my school. I had to use archives in it, and I could choose which kind of archives I would use. And this is why the challenge for me was to use archives which were not mine, because it's anonymous archives. And so, how much of yourself is in the film was a big question, because these images are not mine. So the difficulty was to appropriate this image, and with IA also. But in the film there is a voiceover which is a IA character, and the question it's asked about itself, about his IA statue, is also a question I ask myself as a human. So this is a parallel between the two characters.
I think it's also a really interesting point. So we'll move to the next stage and we'll use your film as a bridge in order to discuss these topics. So we'll just look at 2 more pieces and let's move to the production phase.
La mémoire est le garant de nos existences. De mon existence. Je tente de s'imprégner de ces images homogènes, sans aspérité aucune. Elles affichent une obsession commune de montrer certains aspects de la vie et d'en dissimuler d'autres. Les mêmes vacances. Les mêmes fêtes d'anniversaire.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting, this piece, because we've seen how you, in some ways, with this glitch aesthetics, you merge a real image with AI-generated things. So the question is, how do you, on the one hand, negotiate these kind of things that the model allows you to do with the things you want to stress and the ideas you want to convey, and the other question is, how do you distort this image, the technical process?
Well, it was really difficult to deal with that, because I made like hundreds of tests with a lot of various archives, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I wanted something, but it didn't work. So I changed, I took another archive and maybe it worked. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But when you associate different archives together, it doesn't work. So this was always like this. This is how I built the film. And I used for these archives, these IA clips, it's just a runway. It's quite an easy IA tool. And I just gave him my archives, and I saw what it can do, and then I modified these clips and just tried to find something which was in the direction of the film, but it was hundreds of tests.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't see.
I think there's also lots of trials and errors. We've seen this early in the morning, how, for example, Claudio talked about this feedback loop when you're generating things, and these things creates impressions on you, and you change the things you are generating. This is a constant thing when using AI. So we'll just see one of Brecht's clips about his films, and then we move to the next question. No, Zirui, sorry.
在他们自己的土地上建有许多庙宇，庙内的崇拜方式同样奇怪、可怕和野蛮。在重复的大型仪式中，他们用锤子砸碎自己的偶像，并从中获益良多。
So yeah, I especially like this this piece because it shows two different things very clearly. One, this relationship between real things and AI-generated things. I'm assuming this statue is some sort of Soviet statue of Lenin statue, I assume. There's also a clear, constant pattern in the cinematic history of using certain motives. And here in the UPF, we have a research group centered of visual motives on cinematic history. And the other thing is how you combine AI-generated methods and processes with traditional filmmaking tools. We've seen how Brech also yesterday told us there was a lot of post-production and a lot of editing about the raw material you obtain. How you, for example, first Chen and then Brech, how you combine classical filmmaking tools, filmmaking processes with these new images and these new, not just images, but also new processes that are emerging.
Actually, I don't have like the traditional film trainings. I study in art school, so for me, there is no kind of frame of film production. So for me, it's just that there are several elements that I want to choose. For example, here there is some clip of like the video that's shot by phone. I project it to the sculpture and make them overlap, and also some archive from Cultural Revolution, from the student movement in Paris at 68, and maybe some others, but I forget. I mix a lot of archive, and yeah, but basically, so because I don't know, that's why I submit those clips that I'm gonna talking about the AI part. So it's not the very obviously part of that. I use AI tool, but here for me it's just what's more important is I'm not to like I'm gonna use AI to make a film, but I want to express something, and I feel like several elements combined together that might give me something more than I expect before. So I use it. So I think in this case that might works. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think it's also interesting connecting also with this first keynotes. We have this kind of different approaches to human AI collaboration, automation, on co-creation. So Brech, you told us that you use almost half on a page for prompting, and your prompts were really, really important, really crucial for your film. How you combine all this prompting, this kind of prompt engineering, prompt strategy with traditional filmmaking tools or processes?
Yeah, with making the prompt, it was really understanding what every word did. If you leave a word out of the prompt or you put a word in it, what does it change? So I really had to create a master prompt with some random words in it. It was by describing by letting an AI describe some images to me, that I tried to understand the language that the AI was speaking. And the AI was giving me painters and was giving me genres, giving me works that I had never seen before. And so I took all these names and these words and these emotions that the AI was giving me, and I made a master prompt out of it. and it was half a page long, and then I just had to describe the action. So it was I didn't really write a script or something. I just put my notes in it, and I put my notes in a logical order, and then I had to just put the notes in my AI and the master prompt after it, and it created the image that I wanted. It was a long process. The movie is 50 minutes long, and every scene is 3 seconds. So it was my computer was blowing hot air. It was like I was in Barcelona or something. But it was it was a graduation project for a classical school for film. So I really had to prove my skills as a filmmaker and in my writing process for my teachers and my colleagues. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm also assuming there's kind of a evolving process of knowing how the model operates, how they interpret some words, how some inputs trigger some outputs. There's kind of an evolving process of knowing what this model would behave. Let's see, and let's move to the third stage, since we are clearly out of time, but we'll see 2 pieces more and then debate the last things if you want. So yeah, this is a short clip, but I would ask Amailla and all rest of you, how you once you generate the material, once you have this material, AI generated or not, how do you treat, how you introduce this material in a post-production stage or phase?
Just to precise, this is not IA in
Okay.
this, it's just VFX and archive, so there is no IA. It's funny you just create post-production, production, because for me, I'm a film editor, so the film was at the same time a pre-production, post-production, and production. There is no dissociation of these 3 phases for this film, because I'm more used to a more traditional writing of films, because I graduated from a film school, not art school, so this is different. But the editing was very difficult, the thinking of editing, because I had to rethink all the bases I learned at school, because when you have a classic editing, you have already the images, they already exist, you have a scripts, you have a scenario and everything. So for this film, I had nothing, so I had to build the editing of this film image per image, and this is not something I'm used to.
So thank you. And also think it's interesting how this festival particularly does not restrict how you have to present your films, if whether it has to be all generated or not, because I think we are beyond that, and to see how you combine things, and I think this combining things, it's especially interesting when seeing these kind of proposals. So before addressing the same question to you guys, we are seeing a clip that particularly blows my mind when I say it. So we'll discuss it later. So hope you could see it. We have not the proper lighting here to properly see what I intended. But after 3 years of Rain Film Festival, one of the things that I love the most is to watch the credits, because there's lots of information about what's the relationship with the machines, with the author, with the machines, and also we have seen how the credits are evolving and including more and more people. I think it's interesting. But the thing I want to show you is this. I don't know if you could see it, but there's a clear silhouette. I'm assuming it's you. And I think that's brilliant, because it's a creative decision to put yourself at the end, some sort of looking at the audience, but also questioning how all these kind of things happen. No, so the question related to, once you have all the material and how you treat, where's the author and where do you locate in this process?
Yeah, for this project, this was really putting myself in front of my own work and in front of all these images, and then trying to feel comfortable with it. Like, when does it feel right, or when does it feel done? When is the project done? So it had a lot of versions, and it had shorter versions or longer versions. And then every time that I saw the movie, the last thing that I saw was the black screen of my computer and just me sitting in front of it. And I found it it was just a perfect ending. So that's why I put it at the end. Just the reflection of me, and also showing the audience that those are my visions. I love to share them with everyone, but it's a personal experience, and I wanted to remind the people at the end that if you didn't feel the journey, it's okay, but at the end of the day, it was my personal experience.
Brilliant. I think also have to do with this, with talking about this morning, how you can use these models to stress a vision, a particular vision. Probably no one will understand better than you, but how you can use these new models, the new capabilities we are seeing to stress a vision, a particular vision that before it was impossible to convey. So, Chen, if you want to close, where are you in your film, and how do you see these reflections on the authorship?
Where am I in my film? Actually, for me, I think whatever, as an artist myself, or the tool I use, artificial intelligence, is a kind of mirror that reflects the environmental situation that you were. Like, for example, my research starts at my research about AI start about I want to find out how the censorship machine works in China, because at that time my posts always were censored and disappeared, and I just want to figure out what happened. So I try to read the papers and find the algorithm behind, and try to find some not only me, but a lot of people there try to find out a way to avoid the censorship. And also I think that the technique need a very specific environment, because these tools, like AI tools, in for example in US, in China, in Europe, that's going to be totally different way of using. So for me myself, I'm just I'm an artist, so I use it on my path. So that reflects my feeling, my situation, my the things that I want to talk about, and yeah, that's where I am. Like I'm not me to decide where I am, but I am where I reflect Yeah.
I think it's a perfect way to end. Thank you so much, guys. I would like to, since we are not having times for questions, I would like to invert these kind of things and let you a question for your audience to see if these stages, this pre-production, the production, and the post-production still make sense, are still relevant. I don't know. It's a question for you. You will tell me after this panel. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see the next panel. Thank you, guys.